Hey everybody, I am going to give you a little rundown for workbook page 151, which is assigned for Friday, and talk to you about some percentages. We've talked about percentages along with fractions and decimals during the year, and now we'll really focus on how those things relate, okay, and how we can find percentages for certain circumstances. So if you'll look at workbook page 151, this page has these hundreds grids on them to use, which makes a lot of sense because we know that percent, the actual word percent means per 100, okay? And 100% is the standard number for percentages, okay? It's based off of this term of 100. So the top part of page 151 on the front of the page says what fraction of the grid is shaded. Well, that's easy enough. You can count the blocks to see how many portions of the hundreds chart, the hundreds grid are shaded. And you can count by tens using the tens columns. So there's 32 blocks shaded in the hundreds grid. So 32 shaded out of 100 means that there would be 32%. Now, this page is going to ask for you to write those percentages as fractions, as simplified fractions. So, let's go back to that idea that at the top of the page, there are 32 blocks shaded out of 100. It equals 32%. Okay? So, you have 32 out of 100 blocks shaded equaling 32%. 32 per 100%. That cent means 100, okay? Now, the question is, what is the simplified fraction? So, we're going to take this number and simplify it. And you have to think, what could I divide 32 and 100 by to simplify? And so, I hope you're thinking, oh, well, maybe 4. Let me try 4. I know that 32 and 100 are divisible by 4. So if you write that down to simplify, divide by 4 and divide by 4, 32 divided by 4 gives you 8, and 100 divided by 4 gives you 25. And then that simplified fraction is what you would use as your answer. So when you look down at the questions, number 1 says, write a fraction in lowest terms. That means a simplified fraction, and the percent that represents the shaded part of each figure. So in number 1, you have, if you count the 2 columns of 10, that's 20, and then 5 individual blocks. So there are 25 blocks shaded on that grid in number 1. So that means, this is number 1 from the workbook page, that means there are 25 blocks out of 100 shaded. And you guys should realize this. Every time you see a 25, you should think quarters, just like money, actual quarters. And then when you think quarters like money, quarters are also words that we use for fractions. So let's look at that. It is 25%. And then you know that you need to simplify this fraction. What can you divide 25 and 100 by? You might think the number 4, okay, because there are 4 quarters in a dollar, 4 25s in 100. But can you divide 25 by 4? 4 is not a factor of 25. So actually, what number are we? What's the greatest factor here? We're actually dividing by 25. And then we get an answer of 4, okay? So 25 divided by 25 is 1. And 100 divided by 25 is 4. So that's 1/4 of 100, 1/4 of 100, okay? I want you to remember, every time you see a 25, a 50, or a 75, it's all going to have the terms of fourths, which are quarters, okay? So write your, how many blocks are shaded out of 100, that's your percentage, and then take this number out of 100 and simplify it to get a fraction. So there are 3 things you have to write on your line for this section. You write the fraction that's not simplified out of 100, the simplified fraction, and the percentage, okay? So if you have any questions about that, you can send me a text or call me. I hope that's pretty simple, and then we'll move on to the next page dealing with percent next week, okay? Have a great Friday, good weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.